I think there's a possibility that I'm going to go down in history as the world's most inconsistent YouTuber. But anyway, it is what it is. We can't change that now, can we? So we're here baling a bit today. I need to change my plastic. Obviously I'm going to take off these two empty rolls. For those of you who are not too familiar with the whole process, the baler makes the bale in there, it spits it out here, and then you put your plastic wrap on it as a protective cover for keeping air out of the bale, because if air gets in, it basically rots the grass. So it's a whole sealed unit. Each bale is like its own silage pit, if you want to put it like that, and you have to put enough plastic on it to seal the bale. So it does that by putting on these rolls of plastic. There's two new ones. That's a used one, and those are two little used ones. They're two brand new ones in the middle. This is an empty. You load them up. There's a certain way to load them up. You can't just put them on any way. Plastic has to feed off of the back of the roll, as I call it, but everyone has their own terminology for it. Now, from putting them on thousands of times, I know that that's the way it's supposed to go. Unless I'm going to make a fool of myself now, and it's going to be on wrong. So you feed your plastic through your two pre-stretch rollers. These stretch the film to a preset rate of, I think, 70% stretch. I take off my clip for holding it back. Oh yeah, as you can hear, there's a stretch on that film there now. So you can do several things now. There's a place here to tie it on. You could lift your cutting knife and put it in under that. And for transparency, we'll do that. And then we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. So the general idea behind it is you make a bale as well formed as possible, as tight as possible, and then that leads to less air pockets in the grass in the bale. Therefore results in less, I suppose, mold contamination. Secondary fermentation is actually the proper word for it. So our bale popped out of the baler. As you can see now, the bale is actually spinning and the wrapper is turning around the bale. So why does it overlap more than once is you have a 50% overlap. So you see the way that the bale was actually fully covered, but then it done it once more. So you have a 50% overlap on your plastic. So here we go. This is one layer of plastic. And if you look here, it half overlapped this. So if you measure that distance to that distance, it's pretty much the same. Now the Kuhn has a unique feature where it can put on 5 layers of film, but a minimum of 4 layers. It's recommended 6, but a lot of Irish customers put on 4. European wide 6 would be a lot more common, but 4 is a preferred option in Ireland. It's probably because we make so many bales, and with heavier crops and wetter crops, so wetter grass actually preserves that a little bit easier than drier grass, because the drier it is, the more chance you have of air getting in. A little tear here in the plastic could result in a big square of mold, secondary fermentation inside the bale, but if it was wet, you've less of a chance of that. Now we're going to try and be a bit quicker with this one so you actually see the full process. So it's netting there, it's putting the net wrap on the bale at the front. When it's finished net wrapping, we'll hear our knife dropping to cut the net wrap. Bale comes out of the chamber onto the wrapper. wrapping process starts. You'll see our 50% overlap a little bit easier here now. So that means we've 2 layers put on. And now with 4 layers put on. That's the minimum, the bare minimum. Anything less than that and you're just going to have mouldy bales. So a feature unique to Kuhn is 5 layers, and I'm going to turn the baler onto a 5 layer now. 5 layers. And 0.5 here, we're going to spin the bale at the end as well. So you'll see our overlap will be less or so now for the first revolution of the bale. Basically what it's doing is it's speeding up the motors, turning the bale here. And that's unique to Kuhn. Kuhn have a patent on that system. It's the only baler on the market that's able to put on 5 layers of film. The advantage to that is you're not using as much film as 6 layers, but you still have the advantage of 6 layers of film. See, our overlap is way less. So now we've actually triply overlapped the bale. Now it's gone back to its normal setting. It's after speeding up the bale turning there now. And now it's finished, and now it's going to spin the bale to seal these things onto the bale, so you have nothing flapping going on them on the road or transporting around the place. See this? Whereas now you don't have that. So if Kuhn are looking for a spokesperson, I'm available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and I will talk rubbish all day long. Only joking. So yeah, that's, look, I suppose myself and a lot of other YouTubers, maybe we don't go into the real simplicity of how things work, because it's second nature to us. We don't take absolutely any notice of it whatsoever when we're doing it every day. Whereas your ordinary person maybe watching the videos isn't actually that familiar with how a lot of these things work. So it's, look, you'll give me feedback in the comments anyway, but just that I try something a little bit different. I need to turn this back now to 4 layers, because nobody told me to put on 5 here. So we'll change that back. Still leave the bale spin at the end. I turn that on from time to time. I'll turn it off if I'm in heavy crops, because it just slows me down a little bit. I was there, see that now? Touch screens. I dropped the knives there by accident, but our knives are up. If your ear were sharp enough, you would actually hear them clicking up there at the back. So that means we're chopping the bales. Every section of the intake, there's fingers on the rotor, and after the baler stop now to show you that. Maybe in another video we'll explain that if anybody is interested. And that's how a baler cuts. It's a totally different system to how silage harvester cuts, like your Class Jaguar or any of them machines. It's a totally different system. The other ones are precision, so every cut is the exact same, whereas these are inconsistent. Every cut isn't the exact same. So yeah, these work the same as loader wagons or silage wagons or feeder wagons, or what a lot of people call them. They're self-filling wagons. The same principle.